Hello, Realtor Partners. I am Jeff Fitzer with the Fitzer branch with USA Mortgage. And today I want to share with you a strategy that we have been implementing within our branch to help drive buyer leads as an alternative to Zillow and Realtor.com. I'm going to quickly go through this, and please let us know if you have any questions or if we can share a live presentation with you, your team, or your entire real estate office as a way to try to drive buyer leads. So I'm going to go through this somewhat quickly. And again, if you have any questions, please present that to me or one of your loan officers that you work with our branch. So as you can see here, you should be seeing my screen. And as you can see, we are driving these leads through Facebook. This is an inexpensive alternative to Zillow and Realtor.com that is providing results, and I'm going to show you that today. So what we do is we're creating listing ads for your listings, either your listing, a listing that you borrow from another agent in your brokerage, or maybe even you go out and try to get a FSBO listing to promote a listing, try to drive buyer leads. And this is an example. So as you can see here, we're using a generic Facebook page, not from you or not from us. That way there's a separation there. And you can see that it's a fairly simple ad. And the key component to the ad is trying to generate interest in the property, which is the pictures here. So you can see, obviously, we tweak with the verbiage. We will run various ads, duplicated ads, and we will actually work the ad to make sure that it drives engagement. The partner that we're working with, who has a company called Real Leads, is actually driving this and is the one managing this on the back end. And the whole purpose is to try to drive engagement so we can, again, generate buyer leads. So as you can see here, if somebody was interested in seeing this property, they would, of course, click on the plus 28 here. Here's another couple examples of real estate ads. Again, very similar, both ultimately trying to drive the interested audience into clicking on the photos. And so what happens when the Facebook viewer is wanting to click through, at that point, obviously we've got the interest, and it's going to take them through to a short form Facebook landing page where we ask them for their information. So at this point, they obviously know that they're either going to be giving us their information, their name, email, and phone number, or they can obviously back out and not give us that information. But those that do, at that point, we're driving a lead. And so what happens is once they enter this information and they click submit, they are then going to be leaving Facebook. This is what they'll see. It'll say, thanks, you're all set, and click below to see all the 30 videos. So at that point, we are actually zapping the lead to a CRM called Wufoo, where it is collecting the data that they've entered and then spitting it out to the loan officer and the real estate agent. So you, in this case, and at this point, you have the lead. From the customer's perspective, they are then going to a landing page wherever you want us to point them. And a couple of examples of places they can go would be an MLS landing page where they can see all the photos, or we can create for you a single property website through our CRM, which is called Total Expert. If you're not familiar with this, please get with your loan officer, and we'd love to show you more how slick these single property websites are. There's an example of the homepage of a single property website, and then another example here of where it takes you, which is the data that we're going to be pulling from your listing. So either from the MLS or from whatever you provide to us. And then as you can see here, there's going to be a whole gaggle of pictures. That is what the audience, the Facebook viewer, is going to be taken to. And at this point, they're getting the information they want. And now at this point, you also have the lead in your email box. However, we're actually taking it one step farther. And so at the same time that the lead is being zapped to Wufoo and therefore being emailed to you, we're also putting it into an automation system, which is called Howdy. And this is something that we're managing through our branch with USA Mortgage. And if you know anything about automation systems, the key component to the automation is obviously the automated response to the borrower or to the lead. So once the Facebook, the interested party puts their information in, it zaps it to Howdy. And at that point, we have a drip system, a drip campaign that is automatically going out to them. And we're doing this on your behalf. So as you can see here on day one, within 2 minutes of them submitting the lead, we're firing a text off to them, basically introducing ourselves, asking if they have more interest, sending an email 10 minutes later, and then we do a voicemail drop, also very similar, trying to drive interest. Day two, we fire off another text. We ask them if they're working with a realtor, if they're pre-qualified, just to try to get them to reply. Day three, we do another voicemail drop. Day four, another email. Day six, another text. And so again, this just makes it a little bit more, I guess the way I would describe it is we're getting to the lead quickly, and we're doing it without a lot of effort. So again, we're setting up these campaigns on the back end on your behalf, and we can set up these campaigns to go any way that you want. So it can be very specific to your real estate team. It could be very specific to the lead, whether we were advertising just a listing in general, whether we're advertising an open house, a coming soon, or whatever that might be to drive buyer leads. And here are some of the results that we have seen. So we've been running these for about 60 days now. We've got a total of roughly, done about 20 campaigns, and we've run these 17 of these through 2 different Howdy accounts. And as you can see, we've got from my account, we got 276 click-throughs with 97 responses. On Sean's account, he's got 116 click-throughs with 41 responses. Both of them, ironically, are 36%. And what this data tells me is that of the 276 or 116 people who are clicking through, odds are they're actually probably putting in fake data, which is pretty typical of leads, obviously, because I would assume that being that we have the automation system set up, being that we are going to be touching these people almost 10 times over 6 days, obviously it's not reaching the difference between the two, probably because they're putting in wrong phone numbers. And but the ones who do, you can see the response rate we're getting, which is 36%. And we're getting a variety of responses. Some of them are no, not interested, just looking. Some of the responses are yes, I'm interested, please send me more information, which at that point we are snipping the data and getting it right to you so you can call them immediately. Some of them have actually engaged us and said, no, I'm not working with a realtor. No, I'm not pre-qualified, and I need to do so. And so we do have several active buyers right now that we are working with that are in the pre-qualification process or have been pre-qualified. And at this point, they're just looking for a property. We've had some responses where we are looking for a home, but this particular property doesn't meet our needs, which again, we're taking that data, getting it over to you as soon as possible so then you can follow up with these leads. And just a couple more examples here. So this is just showing you of those 17 ads that we've run. Here's the best one that we've had. The best results was 56 click-throughs and 25 responses. This is pretty average. We're seeing typically between 25 and 30 click-throughs with roughly 10 to 12 responses for a roughly 35, 36% response rate. And this is the worst one. So I wanted to show you the whole gamut here. The worst one we've had was 20 click-throughs with 4 responses for 20%. So still not bad. And then obviously it's luck of the draw. Leads are leads. It's a numbers game. But we feel like this is a very good alternative to Zillow and Realtor.com. And I have received some feedback on this from some of my contacts on the West Coast who effectively utilize all of the lead platforms. And some of the feedback has been, or the consistent feedback from those who are the most experienced with it and actually have success with it, are that Zillow and Realtor.com both are typically more now leads. If somebody's searching Zillow or Realtor.com, they are obviously have an immediate interest in buying a home potentially, or properties of some sort, of some interest, and it must be somewhat driven by some immediate need. Whereas on Facebook, obviously, most people don't go to Facebook to specifically look for properties. But when we drive the interest, when they do click on the ad, typically what people are finding is that it's a little bit more of a nurture lead, but you're catching them in the very beginning of the process. So a lot of them might say, you know what, yes, I am looking to buy a home probably within the next year. And at that point, that's when we've got to obviously convert. And obviously you have to use your sales skills at that point to try to convince them to potentially buy sooner, or throw them in your CRM, nurture them, drip on them, and work these leads, because catching them early on in the process, although is a disadvantage from a commission standpoint, you're not necessarily going to be potentially converting a sale immediately. You're probably going to drive more loyalty from a potential buyer because you're catching them at the very beginning and working them throughout the process. So that's kind of the background on what the feedback that I have received is on this particular platform. And then last but certainly not least is what the cost to run this is. So as you can see here, if you want to run a single listing, we're running them either for 3 or 7 days, 3 through 7 days, but typically 3 or 7. A 3-day campaign would be a Friday through Sunday, and a 7-day campaign is obviously a full week. We run those, or the Real Leads platform that we're partnering with on this runs those for $200, and that includes all of the ad spend, all of the integration with the CRMs, the real-time lead delivery through Howdy, and it also includes a CSV file of all the leads provided after the campaign ends. So as soon as the campaign ends, we can extract a CSV file, an Excel spreadsheet, and fire that over to you, so you have all of those leads and can at that point put them into your CRM and drip on them. And then there's the other option, which is just a little bit discounted price, which is if you run 2 listings at the same time, you get a discount, and it's $300. And all of these costs we can split with you. So because we're both receiving these leads, it is from a compliance standpoint, from a legal perspective, it is allowed for us to split that with you. So for $100, you can run one of these ads. On average, we're driving 25 to 30 click-throughs and anywhere from 10 to 15 responses, actual true leads potentially, which if anybody has any experience with Zillow or Realtor.com, you'll know that that's actually a very good success rate. And I've talked to several people, and we've got a lot of experience with investing in leads. And it seems to me like an average is if they're spending $500 a month on Zillow, you might be driving 25 leads, and those are 25 non-exclusive leads because you're competing with a variety of realtors on every single lead that comes through. Whereas this is your listing, and it's an exclusive lead. So that is the presentation today. I probably spoke longer than I wanted to, but this is a lot of really good data. This is a platform that, like I said, we've been testing out for 60 days now. It's actually going very well. It's a great complement or a way to alleviate your ad spend or your dollar spend on Zillow and Realtor.com, and hopefully a way to help create more buyer leads and grow your business. We are all in it for your business. And if there's anything we can do to help you do that, hopefully this is a strategy that you want to implement into your business. So please reach out to us today. Reach out to your loan officer with our branch. Reach out to me. I'd be happy to do a presentation for you. I'd be happy to discuss this with you in more detail. I'd be happy to come to your office and show you a little bit more about it. And we would be happy to test this out. So if you're interested, give us a call. We'd love to speak with you. Thank you very much for listening today, and we'll talk to you the next time we have something to share.